everybody, welcome back. We are going to do another fun-filled stamping video for you. We are in our October series. And in our October series, we are in week 3. We are going to do card number 2 today. I'm just going to adjust the camera so you can see me a little better. Everything a different setup today that I'm using, different for me anyway. So I just want to make sure you could see my lovely smiling face. So again, as I said, you're going to pull out your packet for week 3, card 2. And for those of you that are not part of my Thursday night Stampin' Club and would like to be, you can reach out to me with Stampin' with Faith on Facebook or Faith Steinberg on Facebook, and I can help you get set up with that. We are doing our series in October using the Peacefully Plaid bundle. So that is the Peacefully Plaid stamp set along with the Peacefully Plaid punch, or the Pine Tree punch. You will need both of those. I'm going to go over quickly just a list of supplies that I have done and ready for us. In your packet, you will find a Whisper White card base. We're using an A2 size. This piece is an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece, and this score mark is at 4 1/4. You'll also need a Whisper White medium sized envelope. We will need 14 inches. You should have a 14-inch piece of real red ribbon with that gold trim. That is 1/8 inch satin ribbon. You will need 3 Whisper White pine trees that have already been punched out for you. They should be in your packet. You will need the stitch rectangle. This one measures 4 inches by 2 5/8. And if you see me looking over off to the side, it's because I have the measurements down here on the off to the side. You will also need a strip of DSP. This strip measures 3/4 inch wide by 5 1/4 inches long, and we will be trimming that down. So you will need scissors, you will need adhesive. Your inks for tonight, you're going to be using the Real Red and Shaded Spruce. So you will need both of those ink spots. And of course you will need your DIY, DIY stamp positioner. You will need that also as well. And you may want your silicone mat, because we are going to be working with some adhesive on those trees. Tonight's cards are very, very simple, very easily mass produced. So yes, this is October. Christmas is coming. It is coming very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to pull out our stitched rectangle. I may try to zoom in for just a moment on the screen so you can see what we're doing down here a little better. There we go. All right, so I am going to take my Merry Christmas stamp. I'm going to grab my Real Red and open that up. Now, when I open my ink spots, I do like to open just one end, and that makes this lid a hinge. Sometimes if this tends to wear out over time, I just put a piece of Scotch tape across there to keep it all together. We're going to go ahead and ink up Merry Christmas. And we are going to stamp Merry Christmas down here right. I'm going to pull it towards me. Well, I want you to be able to see it. So let's get that glare out of the way. Here, we'll put it right there. All right, so I'm going to stamp upside down, but we are going to stamp Merry Christmas right there towards the bottom. So it's going to be centered, but towards the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamp because we're done with that stamp for this one. Like I said, this card is very simple. It's going to go together so fast, you won't even notice. In case I didn't show you before, here is our finished card. Very, very simple. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move this off to the side for just a moment. We're going to pull in our card base. And on our card base, we're just going to grab our silicone mat. I'm going to put some adhesive on both ends of this DSP. And actually, I think we need to trim it down a little bit. So let me go ahead and attach one side. No, it's perfect. So 5 1/4 is the correct size. I wasn't quite sure how that would work. I couldn't remember my measurements. So most of you here know me. I don't remember things easily. All right, so there is that. We're going to now set that aside. And we're going to grab our DIY stamp positioner. There we go. And what I have done here, and I'll take this off to show you, is I have gone ahead and I put my stamp on the positioner first where I wanted it. And I went ahead and stamped that. I stamped it today in Shaded Spruce. It matters not, my friend, what color you stamp that in. The important part is this. So what I have done is taken an extra piece of that stitched rectangle and I've made a template out of it. So the template you want to keep throughout this series. We will be using this stamp set every Thursday in October. Our videos for the replay will be loaded every Friday at noon. So you'll want that stamp positioner in place. If you don't know how to make a DIY stamp positioner, head on over to my YouTube channel, Stampin' with Faith, and make yourself one using that tutorial. Also, in addition to that tutorial, you will find several other videos all in this series using the same stamp set. There will be 8 videos total. All right, so I'm going to take one of the pine trees that we've previously punched, and I'm going to line that up on that template. I know it's going to be perfectly stamped and punched in the perfect place because I am using that template as my guide. I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the stamp. And then when we close that lid, just give it a little rub. And when we open that back up, it should be perfect. If it's not, the great thing about using the stamp positioner is we can always adjust and redo it. So come back in and redo it. So that looks good to me. I'm going to pull that one out. I am going to go ahead and grab my chamois and clean off that stamp because we're going to use it again. This time we're going to grab one of our trees. We're going to put the tree in. And then we're going to grab the Real Red ink. And with that Real Red ink, the first one we do will be stamped full strength, head on. Make sure my tree's lined up. Make sure my magnets are out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and lay that down, give it a rub. Lift that up. Sometimes your stamped image will come off on the other side. That's okay. Just lift it up. He'll be just fine. So we're going to set that tree aside. Grab the next tree, insert it. This time we're not going to re-ink that stamp. We're just going to stamp straight on. And it's going to give us that same image, only just a little bit lighter. I can never figure out where to hold it. I need a little ball hanging on a string or something that'll show me. There you go. All right, there is that. We are done with our stamp positioner now. So that's all our stamping. So all you had to stamp was Merry Christmas and 3 little trees. You still stamped, but it made it super simple. So let's bring all our parts back in. So for our card base, we are going to need to lay down our ribbon next. We're going to do that in a Z formation. So here all I've done is just added 2 lines of adhesive. You watched me do that. You can see those there. So then we're going to take the adhesive, and I like to start with the bottom, making it overlap, into part of that plaid paper. And actually, let's add another piece there. So then this will loop up here, and we'll make a Z here. We'll make another loop here and bring it back. It doesn't matter what our underneath looks like because, again, all of that jazz under here is going to be hidden by our stitched rectangle piece. So no worries, no worries. Got a little extra ribbon. We're just going to trim it off. I like to trim it at a slight angle. And there is that. Let's go ahead and bring in our dimensionals. Everyone should have received a small sheet of them. If you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you probably have a mild stash of them going on. Hopefully you find other uses for them. I, in this case, am using the mini dimensionals. You could absolutely use the larger ones if you had them. All right, I'm now going to center that slightly on just that one side. There is that. We're going to go ahead and grab our silicone mat again, and we're going to work with our two real red colored trees, and I'm just going to add some adhesive. So I'm kind of doing a Y formation or an arrow going along the side edges of the tree, and then of course starting from the bottom going to the top. Now you will notice, if you didn't already, in here there is some little adhesive bits. Let me get it centered. See that little bits of adhesive? I just take my finger or take your pick tool and rub it to the back. So that way it doesn't accidentally get stuck on the front of my card, so that it shows. And because those are those indentations, just by rubbing that tool across there. And then when you're done, I clean my take your pick tool with just an alcohol wipe. It doesn't hurt anything. We're going to bring our card back in. I'm going to do this upside down just for you. We are going to start over here with our real red, the lighter one. And then you're just going to stagger them. This one I need to move down a little bit. So I'm going to twist. I didn't want to rip the card. That's all right. Nobody will notice. Put my tree down just a little lower than it was before, but that's an embellishment opportunity. Cover that rip. Nobody will know it's there. And then we're going to grab our green piece and pull back in our dimensionals. Grab your take your pick tool. And pick up your dimensionals with the pokey end. See if I can get them better this way. They're hard to pick up today. All right, and there you go. Put that right in the center, covering both sides so it looks middle-ized. And there, my friends, you have it. That's all there is to it. Now all you need to do, let me zoom back out. All right, there you have it, my friends. All you need to do now is add your own internal greeting. Add a greeting and stamp your envelope. So I hope you enjoyed week 3, card number 2. Don't forget, come back next week for week 4, and we'll see you then. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, guys. Bye-bye.